Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to brainstorm a new novella project in honor of spooky fall season. I want it to be cozy, some romance, just a fun little project to take a little break while I am publishing my debut, Skin of Gold, which is now available for pre-order at my website, kayleefaye.com. Please add it to your Goodreads shelf. And yeah, without further ado, let's get back into the video. I have a really fun new idea because Skin of Gold is pretty heavy. It deals with sexual assaults and a lot of trauma, healing, dysfunctional family. All of these things made it a very heavy book to be working on for 5 years. My second project after that, if you have been on this channel before, you would know that I am also working on a very big, high fantasy, epic fantasy series. I have a second draft of that is sitting somewhere else waiting. So to take my mind off of that and do a more fun, lighthearted, or not, I don't know about lighthearted, but to do a more fun, low stakes project, I decided to start a cozy fall novella. But honestly, I'm going to tell you the description I came up with, and I don't think you're going to think that it's cozy. All you need to know, it's a witchy Carmilla retelling. I already began writing it, so I don't know if this counts as a brainstorming. Although I have began writing it, I am now over 5,000 words in. I realize I don't have a Pinterest board and a playlist for this project, which I really love having for all of my writing projects to really get me into the mood. It sets the tone for my writing sessions. Usually I'll have the Pinterest board up just to get the more visual aesthetics going because I don't see anything when I'm writing or reading. I don't see anything visual. I only hear things. Maybe someone else understands what I'm talking about. That's why I usually like having my Pinterest board to help me get more into the visual space of the story as well, or mostly also for characters and setting. But then because hearing is so, auditory is so important to me in writing, that's why playlists and music are so important to my writing process. I love having a dedicated music playlist for my projects. I made a really nice one for Project Paradise, which is my sprawling dark fantasy romantasy project, and I love playing that playlist while I'm working on that specific project. So while I've been working on Project Scorpion, which is what I'm going to be calling this witchy Carmilla retelling novella, I have found myself wanting a specific new playlist that is dedicated just to this project because I have been playing my Reaper playlist that is for Project Paradise, but the vibes don't match. It kind of gets in the way sometimes. So I've been wanting its own playlist while I draft this. So that is what we are going to do today. We are just going to get into the vibes of this story. I can talk a little bit about the outline because I already have the outline. I already have the description. I won't share everything about that, but I will read to you the initial description, the initial pitch that I came up for this story. It is now not like this. The story has changed a bunch since I initially wrote this description, but here it is so you have a little bit of context. Witches and vampires are sworn immortal enemies. Just going to refer to my main character as V. When V was a baby, a vampire killed her mother, leaving her father to raise her by himself in their castle in the dark woods. Now a witch in a coven pledged to protect the human townsfolk from vampires, V hatches a nefarious scheme to save her dying father. Kill death using the power of Hallow Eve's blood moon. But when the Grim Reaper is her first love that ended in bitter tragedy, driving a stake through her heart proves to be more difficult than she expected. Can V save her father from her ex-girlfriend, or will she succumb to death's fanged kiss? So that was the initial premise that I came up with. That has changed once I fleshed out into an outline. And then once I had the outline, I began drafting. So far I have 4 chapters. I'm working on the 4th chapter right now. But yeah, I've already diverted from the outline in the chapters. So I'm sure that things will change even more from that original premise. But I was pretty happy with that when I first came up with that. I think it's really fun. It can be a little formulaic. It follows a lot of like the romance tropes and all of that. But that is exactly what I'm looking for. I do not want to be working on another super complicated project right now. I just want something where I can immerse myself in the world, turn my brain off a little bit, and just have fun in this weird little dark woods setting with my 2 beautiful characters. I think I want to do the Pinterest board first. I think that'll set you guys will be able to see what I'm envisioning for this project. For Project Scorpion, I definitely want V, my main character. She lives secluded in a castle in these dark woods. So I think I want to try to find some sort of spooky forest setting that'll convey that. Ooh, okay, I really like... Ooh, some of these look really creepy. Let's just add a bunch just... Ooh, okay, like that's scary. I don't know if I want to go for that scary. But I do like... Just like... Yeah, dark woods. Just a dark woods. Okay. So we have dark woods. Yes, and my main character, V, she's a witch. So it's going to be witches, vampires. I guess I said that already. Yeah, witches and vampires are sworn enemies. Not only that, V's father absolutely hates vampires because obviously his wife was killed by one. But yeah, I want the witchy vibes. It's like a witch and the Grim Reaper sapphic romance. That is what I am going for. So the first scene is like a nightmare that V has where this first love / vampire / Grim Reaper visits her in her quote-unquote nightmare. It's not a nightmare. But then after that we go into a masquerade ball for Halloween. So I like this skeleton dancing with a woman and very much this lonely Grim Reaper. I think that that'll be very symbolic because one of the main arcs is that my main character helps the Grim Reaper find the will to live again. So I think that that's very fitting. These are nice. Okay. Going off of that, maybe a dark castle. Ooh, yeah. It's giving fairy tale. I think both of these characters are very isolated in different ways. My main character is like physically isolated from other people. So she's isolated from the town. She's isolated from potential friends, people her own age. She literally just lives with her father and herself in this ginormous castle, far away from everything else. And then for the Grim Reaper vampire, she is very isolated in terms of like psychologically, she's very isolated. She feels like she's surrounded by enemies. She has nowhere and no one to turn to. I definitely want the spooky castle to be in here. Ooh, and I think I also want the blood moon because that plays a part in the story. Ooh, see, perfect. This one already has a castle under a blood moon. I think, let's see even if anything comes up for Carmilla aesthetic. So I do want some like vampire-y. Ooh, see, I like this. I feel like this is very much V is like life, and obviously the vampire Grim Reaper L, let's just call her L, she is all the darkness, and I think that they end up saving each other. I guess I didn't do any vampire-y aesthetics yet, so I think we can do Yeah. Ooh, yeah, so she does wear black to the ball. There are carriages. I think that these dead roses can symbolize their dead first love. I don't know. Okay. Oh, here's even a page of Lauren Carmilla. Yeah, that is the original. I listened to the audiobook and then I was able to read it on print. My Carmilla character, Elle, I gave her red eyes. Okay, let's see if I have enough pictures yet for the vibes to be right. Ooh, what is this? Natural drawing. Okay, let's take a look at the final. Ooh, okay, I really like this one. Okay, so this is the mood board. Kind of basic, a lot of reds, a lot of blacks. I'm happy with that, that's fine. It doesn't need to be too detailed. It gets the general aesthetic of the mood and everything. So that is the mood board done. Let's move on to the playlist. So the way that I like to do my playlists, I sort of like going in chronological order of the events. So I'm going to have my outline pulled up in front of me, and then I'm going to sort of try to go through scene by scene, and then whatever songs come to mind that can match with each scene, I will do that. Like I said, the opening scene is when she has this sort of like nightmare. So let's see if I can find a good song for that. Just to show you, here is my Reaper playlist. At this point, the playlist no longer matches up with chronological order of Project Paradise anymore because I've revised it a bunch during draft 2. But when I first made this playlist, let me tell you, it was spot on. It was honestly a piece of work in itself for how much the titles, the lyrics, everything just matched with the plot. I was very proud of this playlist, okay? It's very long now. I will not be explaining how everything matches up. But that is what I want to do with this project too. But yeah, let me look through this playlist to see any inspiration for what I could do for a nightmare. Okay, I made the playlist. Here is the final Project Scorpion Spotify playlist. So starting off, I added a photo. I felt like that was very fitting. I don't know, yeah. But yeah, starting off, I feel like these first few songs, Darkness, Miss You, that's like the nightmare, and the scene ends. It's sort of like an erotic nightmare, but at the core of it, it's about V missing the people she's lost. So that's that. And then obviously summer's gone, it's now autumn. She's taking a walk around the castle, hence fortress, with her father. He tells her that she is allowed to pick a dress, one of her mother's old dresses. So usually her father doesn't really like talking about V's mother or her passing or anything like that. And yeah, but he really wants V to get married. So he's like, okay, go to this ball. You're allowed to go through your mother's things and, find a dress that you want to wear to this ball. So Ghost in the Machine, I felt like matches V going through her mother's old things and connecting to her mother's spirit in that way through her whole, yeah. Anyway, but she does feel like her childhood with her mother, her first love, they're all so far away. She has to claw herself back out of the grief of missing her loved ones. She has to crawl out of love. She's also a witch, hence potions. V is a witch, and so is her mother. So now that they're at the masquerade, so night bloom, the night is blooming. She ends up dancing with this mysterious person who feels inexplicably familiar. It's Like You're Falling for the First Time. She has a waltz. The Reaper, yeah, that's self-explanatory. Yeah. Bunch of songs. I added church here because the church does play a role in this. There's a bunch of like witch hunts that are being done by the church. There's a whole thing going on with that. Yeah. And I just wanted to end it with forever because V and L forever. Yeah. That's my fun little playlist and my brief little overview of why I picked the songs that I did. But honestly, it's not that serious. I literally just pick songs that I like and that I want to listen to as I'm drafting this project, if I'm being so for real. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun just brainstorming my new Carmilla novella with me. I'm having a lot of fun writing this project. I haven't been vlogging a bunch of it just because I've been focusing on creating content to promote Skin of Gold since the release date is in basically like a month. I'm really excited about November 11th when Skin of Gold officially comes out. If you guys would like to grab a signed copy, I can also personalize it. That is on my website at kayleefaye.com. Go get your signed pre-order there. You can also add Skin of Gold to your Goodreads bookshelf to help support the book's launch and me in my career as an author. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys so much. Right now, I only have the author proof for Skin of Gold, but I hope to show you guys the final proof without the final copy, without the not for resale copies soon. Those are all of my updates. Have a wonderful day and happy writing.